Hey everyone, I kind of wanted to share some of my feelings about this last patch. You know, you guys know who I am. I'm RemanX, and I am a member of the Envoy team. And I'm actually going to go and I'm going to share the information that I shared with the developer channel we have in the Envoys, because I think it's important to kind of understand where I'm coming from and the feedback that I give on a daily basis. And I think there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle here. And, you know, there are some really big major changes here that flag a new direction in the game, in my eyes, but it's overshadowed by just miscommunication. And we'll get into it because I think we can probably summarize it. And if I missed anything, please let me know in the comments. Remember, I'm going to have a town hall again on Friday evening. We'll definitely have a chance to sit down and unpack all this together if I missed this. And so first things first, we're in the middle of a Facebook issue, so people can't log in. Now, this isn't a Marvel Strike Force issue. It's good to know that other people have bugs. It's refreshing, right? Anyway, let's move on from this. So the first thing I want to talk about specifically is just really like the feedback that I sent up recently, and it may be hard to see because I definitely was having a hard time deciding like what I was going to share here. And so the biggest problem is that raids always come out and they don't feel rewarding. Often the devs miss what the players need from the raid experience. Raids should be challenging without feeling impossible or outright bugged. Doom 1 was so buggy for way too long, and the juice should be worth the squeeze. Alliances should be incentivized for buying their way or coordinating their way into higher raid tier completion without missing out on a significant portion of the previous tier's rewards. Imagine putting 0 T15 orbs in a new Doom raid so alliances would feel incentivized to run a lower tier. Or less ISO blue so progression to a higher tier could be hindered because ISO gates the raid content. Finally, the raid season points are always a problem. This time it is much worse because you had a blog stating that what you wanted to do, and a very different execution is what we saw. And what's sadly, the raids are fun. I am really enjoying them from a design perspective, except tech, but at least tech isn't 1.1 bio bad. And so here's the problem. I want to tell people to skip 1.1 because it is absolute trash. It is the DD3 of raids. It is one of those content moments where you can look back at it and say, we made a mistake. We made it too prohibitive. We created our own problems with design choices on the nodes. We had a number of bugs that went unaddressed for months in the raids, despite numerous attempts to fix them. And the player experience was drastically hurt as a result. And I thought we moved past it with Doom 2.0. And then we looked at the maths. And the maths said something otherwise. First, raid season progression is trash right now. It is literally the worst feeling I have looking and trying to help people decide what tier of rating to do. If you need blue ISO and you still need G15, you're stuck doing the 1.0 garbage raid. And so if the goal was to move more people into higher end content, the mark was missed dramatically. And I honestly hoped that that was what this was signaling. Because I feel like it just made everyone feel like they wasted resources, they wasted planning, and it could have been celebrated because honestly, it's fun. It's fun being able to talk about overcoming these raid challenges, understanding that we largely have the teams to get it done, and there's opportunities to work together to push to higher tier content when we don't. So the raid experience, again, You missed the mark. There just aren't enough rewards. The raid season points don't add up to what you said in the blog. There's the gating of rewards, putting teal gear as the exclusive reward in the 2.0 raid made sense as long as you didn't shut off the valve to G15 and G14. All right? Because you created another problem. Because not only did you introduce a brand new raid so that alliances had to choose their identity, you created a war. Now, I'm going to accept part of the blame. I was in these war modes, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think enough people took it seriously enough to give feedback other than we won a war or lost a war. I totally missed this, and I should have captured this. They made war defenses more powerful. Your war defense is now 10% more powerful from the get-go when the game launches. The experience of war has gotten worse. People don't like losing, and they've doubled down on it. The difference is if you war ready your defensive team and you war ready your offensive team, you're now 10% behind where you were before. And we all know that this game is a matter of percents. I spent a lot of T4s and gear to increase those percents. So let's talk about it. Next, we have the war issues. The war experience is completely FUBAR. Armory and barracks were offsetting bonuses. At least you knew if you had your armory up and you had your barracks up, they were offsetting penalties, and you understood how to overcome that. If you lost your armory early in a war with your opponent's barracks up, it was a fight uphill. But you didn't start at a disadvantage. All defenses are now better because of Cargo Bay. This has had several side effects. Punch-ups aren't currently possible. A 20 million point alliance difference may mean that alliance can't clear the globals. This negatively impacts the players because it results in a drastic impact on the amount of war currency earned. This is why we had the last batch of shelling. The idea was to manipulate matchmaking so they weren't impacted by losses. War currency is experiencing a major inflation-like issue. It is currently used to obtain G16 for DD5, unlock the Preparation H for the hemorrhoids that are the heroes for hire, Maria Hill, and grant access to G14s, which are the current crux of the I can't build all the new team arguments. Sadly, the practice mode has been largely forgotten because of this. And it's a great thing, and I can't even celebrate the wins anymore. Like, I can't. And so what I'm left here is trying to find ways to guide alliances as a content creator to say, hey, you know, here's what I think they meant by this. And I can't find a way to navigate through this. I'm experiencing constant crashes in the Doom raid, completely eliminating my fun and aspect of it from it. This patch has been a nightmare when it comes to just overall functionality. And what happens is I've had to spend a significant amount of cores to overcome the raid issue, and I'm not getting the response from customer service fast enough to impact the raid that I'm in. All right, that's my personal experience. But what's worse is if you're pushing for a season or you're finding yourself falling behind and you're trying a new tier of content, you're doing worse than you did previous seasons. And that isn't what you promised us, and it just needs to make sense. And the big miss here is that I spend a lot of my time relaying info and talking to the developers. I asked them about this specifically because I had concerns about raid seasons because it's always a miss. If it didn't happen so freaking always, we wouldn't be as upset. So MSF, right? I'm going to say this. There's a ton of fun things to do in this game right now. I'm having fun when I'm not crashing, when I'm not watching people quit because they can't log in, when I'm not dealing with the dramatic differences of not having the new warriors because nobody's sure what to expect from the rewards and compensation. And for the fact that the 2.0 raid needs the new warriors, FYI, no surprise there. And the reality is not everybody in the community is having the same experience. I'm looking at wars and I'm looking at like when I'm facing my opponents that had at least a significant chance to clear us aren't able to get past one of our flight decks. And I'm sitting there going, oh no, that's war currency. They can't get the characters they want. How are they going to move forward? And so the problem with this is all the good things are lost when we're quagmired in the muck of bottlenecks, dysfunction, technical issues. And I can't celebrate any wins here, guys. And I've been trying to all week. So, guys, remember, leave some comments in here. I'm sure I missed some stuff, but I am giving feedback. I do think that they're trying to make something good here. I'm fearful of the implementation, and maybe they're just spread too thin. I don't know. But I'll see you guys Friday for the town hall. Remember, I do things so you don't have to, and I had to get that off my chest.